But somebody that might not be going back to work for very much longer, well, I think he will be, but this is all bullshit if you ask me, is Nicolas Cage, because he's saying he's only got 3 or 4 movies left. And that leads me to our featured story of the night.
I'm sorry I spelled your segue.
It's okay. They can hear you. It's fine. It's fine.
Say, Brian, you are just.
I can smell it though. You could feel it coming. You could feel it coming.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
You can smell it.
I didn't say I love it. I just said you could smell it.
Go ahead,
just like
Brian.
I feel that sweet musk of Nick Cage right now. I can smell it.
That's a great picture. You can smell that.
He's giving me that.
Jesus Christ Almighty.
He's giving everybody those Nick Cage eyes. But Nick Cage is smoldering right now back in the news. He's got that smolder cage going on. But Nick Cage was actually talking about how he thinks he only has 3 or 4 movies left in his tool belts right now. He said that honestly, he goes, unless something very special or a revisitation comes along from his favorite big fan on-screen roles, he's thinking like if a Face-Off sequel comes or maybe Ghost Rider, he said, emerges, he's going to step away after 3 or 4. He says, I'm pretty much done with that. He goes, I've done everything I can for cinema. I feel like I've made my stamp. Over 100 movies. He thinks it's time. But for what? I'm even for TV, he's saying. So here's the switch right now. He says he's been watching a lot of Breaking Bad with his kid, and then they're saying how Bryan Cranston had so much time to delve into that character, how many hours actually get intense and feel it and be involved.
15 years.
Only took him 15 years to go to TV. 45 years, Mike. 45 years, he said. 45 years, 100 movies. And he feels pretty fucking good about his cinema career, but he's like, maybe there's something in TV. And he hopes to end his cinema career on a high note. He wishes, he said, that he could be done on Dream Scenario, because that just came out and getting rave reviews, but he says he still has some contractual obligations for other movies, and that's why he's saying maybe 3 or 4 more, but he's expressing interest in doing other things with his acting. Now, he did say TV, but he hasn't said 100% that he will, so he just says he's intrigued by that. But overall, his whole thing is, he's like, I think I've done great with cinema. I've had a great time doing it. I've had that suitcase, and I've taken it around the world, and I've traveled, and I've experienced it, and I think that I've given all I can for cinema, and now it's time to transition into whatever his next phase is in life. And maybe it will be TV, maybe it won't be TV. He just brought up the whole thing watching with his kid when it comes to actual Bryan Cranston, when it comes to TV. Comes to TV in general. I'm sorry, I'm having a moment. But to me, I think this is all bullshit. Nick Cage has too many dinosaur bones to buy, and I think that he can't afford to stop working so he can buy the dinosaur bones, and he can buy everything he wants. He said, well, that's the thing, Richard Tracy. He said 3 or 4 more movies, and then he said that he's going to have to maybe step away. He said, honestly, he said maybe television is the next step. He said, I'm not really sure what the next step for me will be, and we'll see. So is this real? Is this not real? What do we feel out there if Nick Cage really will, take that motorcycle and drive off to the distance, or maybe he will come back for another role? Only time will tell. But I want to go to my group right here. Great. What do we think about this, Sabrina? Sabrina is so excited about this.
She's ready. Get up and pee, but I saw the comments. I was like, God damn it.
Oh my God, Cage, friend of the show.
Edge of her seat. I'm going to go to Mr. Mike Casey, though, first on this.
You made me sit down for no reason. Go to Mike. Fuck off. I'm going to pee.
So, Mike.
Let's see what Zach has to say.
Go pee.
Mike, do you think that Nick Cage is seriously going to step away from acting? Do you think that maybe he will actually go into TV, or do you think that he has given all he has to give to cinema, and it's time for Nick Cage to find the next chapter in his life?
Friend of the show. Very few people do we mention that people like just jump on the positivity. They say, like, Nick Cage, he's swinging and swinging. He says he wants to step back, but then he's gonna be taking a trip with his family through a museum, and he's gonna see a mummy, and he's gonna say, wow, that's a good looking mummy, and he's gonna have to have it. And then we're gonna get to 16 more iterations of National Treasure. I mean, as far as I understand, that's the way. Aside from Con Air Nick, that's the way that he decides how things happen in his life. We all love Nick Cage. If he wants to step back a little bit, he's just now watching Breaking Bad. Like, of course, he's a busy mofo.
He's working, man.
The man doesn't stop.
he loves to work. Like, so whether it's Dino Bones, whether it's mummies, whether it's other things that have been buried deep within the earth that he's shown on cinema to have a great affinity for, yeah, like it doesn't surprise me that he wants to explore, you know, a longer form art form, because it's a thing in TV now. It didn't used to be like that. That movie actors actually had something to gain from joining TV, but now, because the production values, because the special effects have gotten to that level, it has something to offer him, which is astonishing, because simultaneously he's saying, oh, like, I want to reel back from movies, I want to spend more time with my family, and then also he wants to jump into a format that's like, you know,
take away from his family completely.
A 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. for 6 months, like while he films this stuff. It's I don't know if all that stuff makes sense together. He needs to work because he's compelled. He wants to spend time with his family. I don't know. I wish him luck, though, because everybody is going to be clamoring to have this guy on their AAA series. Like, can you imagine him in frickin' Game of Thrones? Like, just doped down in like deep in furs, and like him going full melodrama, because melodrama is what he wants. He's going to be going deep into that. So I am I'm so ready, Brian. I'm so ready.
I feel like TV could be like a renaissance for his career. It could be amazing. And I think that if he does do that, I think it's great for him. I don't think he's retiring, Mike. We got the chat saying no 100%. People like, I got pulled on. People saying no. I don't see it happening. That Nick Cage will not retire. Well, I said Nick Cage will retire. People are like, no. And I think you're right, Mike. He has a very big chapter moving forward here when it comes to his career. Sabrina, what do you think? Do you think Nick Cage is going to retire? Do you think this is all smoke and mirrors, or do you think that he's actually thinking about stepping away from acting?
I agree with Mike, kind of like it. You know, it depends on what kind of things he wants and needs. He's a rare collector and definitely an odd bird. He is a lover of comic books. He is actually Richard Tracy, yes, related to Francis Ford Coppola. I believe it's his uncle. And he changed his last name because he didn't want to have like that whole nepotism situation going on, which I think is super cute. I also think that people throw this motherfucker a lot of hate, and he's pretty fucking awesome. Even when he's like not great, I still love him, which is really rare for me because I kind of hate everything. So I would love him to keep making movies for as long as movies exist and as long as his life exists. So this is really sad for me. I feel like there's a trend though currently of people being like, I'm going to retire. And then they're like, I'm coming out of retirement. And they're like, but I'm going to retire again. And, you know, so I'm not honestly putting too much stock in it personally as a, you know, for me, I'm not putting too much stock in it. And I also will honestly support anything. Someone mentioned Con Air, great. Face Off, great.
So good.
Like, there's so many spectacular movies that he was in. Like, and I feel like he gets such a bad rap. Like, I mean, Raising Arizona, fucking great movie. Him and Holly Hunter, oh my God, it was spectacular. I just feel like I feel like he has done so many wonderful things, and because he did something like Ghost Rider, like people are very upset with him. It's like, fuck off, dude. He is a gem, a fucking cinematic gem that I would love to continue to watch, get more and more refined as moments pass. They mentioned Renfield. Watch that. He was a spectacular Dracula. I loved it. I loved him. I loved Nicholas Hoult. Like, it was, you know, it was what it was. Like, please don't expect too much, but it is what it is. And I had a really, really, really good time watching it.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Zach. Yes. He's going to retire like they retired the McRib. Now he'll be back every once in a while for a little bit of cheer. I'll take that. I will take that. I don't want him to retire.
Yeah,
I guess that's my final statement.
I think he's not going to. Sean, right? He's not going to retire.
Oh, that was not good.
Do you see?
Hold on, I'm sorry.
The CG flash. That's a good statement for Sean here. That's good
really
for Sean.
appreciate it.
I have many thoughts on that, says Sean.
And there was the controversy where he did shoot stuff, and he said they didn't use any of it. They just CG'd him in. He's like, I didn't shoot any spider. I didn't do any of this. Do you think that could maybe that kind of stuff is making him not want to be in cinema anymore? He's worried about that. That's why he's like, maybe I need to step away. And you think that TV could still do him dirty like that?
I want to thank Richard for taking the wind out of my sails. That was exactly what I wanted to talk about. I've paid a lot of attention to Nicolas Cage's opinions and interviews, and when the Flash is brought up, the man visibly deflates and really just disconnects, and it's really sad to watch. It's super sad to watch. I think he feels he holds himself to don't keep it together, guys. We're so close. We're so close here. Keep it together. We gotta land this plane, guys. Come on. I think he's someone that holds himself to such a high standard that he expects the best, and he expects that he puts himself into so many projects and becomes so many different characters, and he wants to show the best part of himself, and really involve himself in a movie, the career, whatever. Like, it's a fantastic career when you look at it. The man plays himself in a video game, for God's sakes. If you haven't,
plays himself in The Massive Weight of Unbearable Talent.
Massive Weight of Unbearable Talent was one of the best things I think I've ever seen him in, and I haven't seen a lot of his classics, like what is it, Betty Sue Getting Married or whatever. Like, I love Raising Arizona, of course. But the man has so many hits on his filmography, and he still finds a way to surprise us and take on new characters. What he just did in Dream Scenario was amazing.
You saw it?
No. But I want to
say sell on yourself, Sean.
It's only in so many theaters.
Thank you.
That was great.
But like, you can just tell that the man cares, and like, I honestly am hard pressed to find another, especially American actor, who we should hold in such high reverence. I honestly feel like if he wants to take a chance on television, I think I agree with you completely, Brian. Like, television is becoming a good place to take those chances. Shows like Fargo, shows like True Detective on HBO. They're giving these kind of stories and investment in key talent.
Give me Nick Cage and True Detective, man.
When Brian introduced this, like, I was like, I could really see him like chew the fuck out of some scenery in True Detective. And again, like, the Fargo season that just came out is getting a lot of attention. And just even the caliber of the cast is amazing. And yeah, you don't have anyone at a Nick Cage level, but like,
in there.
Fargo's season with season with Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor played two characters for the entire season,
That's
and you
fucking
still
awesome.
felt like they were two different actors. Like, he did such a great job at defining who those characters were, and the performances were nuanced. It was beautiful, and like, give Nick Cage a shot. If the man wants to do television, give him some fucking scripts. I honestly think, like, yeah, he's put himself out there. He's reinvented himself. He's had renaissances in his career, up and down, different times and different decades. You can point to the who was Nick Cage of the 90s and the early aughts, right? Like, are we ever going to get another National Treasure movie? Maybe. I mean, a lot of people have hinted at it a long time, but like, and because it's Nick Cage, there's always going to be holding out that hope that it's still possible. The man,
as long as they write a $35 million paycheck, he'll be there.
He'll show up. Yeah, that guy's a lot of dinosaur bones and first appearances of Superman. I will say he did get to voice Superman in the Teen Titans Go movie. So
that's awesome.
He did get to do that, and I think there was so much backlash in the Flash movie after it came out. Like, you guys actually fucking shot Nick Cage and you didn't use that shit. Like, come the fact, but So, okay, Zach, calm down, buddy. Anywho,
I just want to know who he's talking about.
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Question.
Anyway, more Nick Cage
right.
equals good for me, but yeah, I think you said it right.
There's a lot of roles, Sean. There's a lot of roles he could do on TV that I think we've been screaming for more Nick Cage. Everybody loves fucking Nick Cage. And you see him, like, even in the trailer stream scenario, I have not seen it yet, and because it's only limited theaters. I'm hoping it's going to come by the one by us.
I'm trying to find out where the fuck we can see it.
I want to see it. I think we're
Well,
doing
you'll
Beverly Hills.
see it eventually on HBO Max, apparently.
It'll be on Max. It's going to be on Max, yeah.
Be
By
fucking
the way,
patient
really
for
quick,
it.
while we're talking about A24 and HBO Max, like, can we just have a brief moment on Poor Things? Is anybody excited about that? No one knows what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking about. Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I think it's going to be this year's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's a big ask.
No, I really
All right,
think
write
it's
it
gonna
down.
Be. Yeah, but,
Log right now.
Today,
December
on
6th,
Brady,
11,
On Sean's
12
resurrection to
Eastern.
cruise control.
I wrote it on my journal on December 6th at 8:12 p.m. Veronica Stone said that she was funny. Yep, that's what we're doing right now.
Anyways, everybody,
Rename
I don't
yourself,
think
Veronica? Okay, sorry.
No, it was from
I don't think-
Anchorman.
I don't think Nick Cage is retiring.
Oh,
I think
right.
Nick Cage is going to have a new chapter moving forward. And maybe he does 3 or 4 movies. But again, he left this little loophole being like, well, if it's one of my best movies from my past, maybe I'll do it. So I'm guessing like maybe he will step away a little bit. Maybe he'll get into TV. I'm all for that. I think we're all about that. And I hope Nick Cage never retires. And I hope this is
Me
just
too.
a moment in his life where he's upset about the Flash.
Okay, thank you, Zach.
And
Because I
he'll
was
be
a little
okay.
bit pissed. I'm like, all I do is support you, and you're trying to fucking be an asshole. Just kidding. I knew.
Oh,
you
I
were joking.
shut it down.
You're
We
very
both
funny.
tried to click that at the same time, Sabrina.
I gotta say,
Zach.
Zach, you're awesome.
we love Nick Cage.